So we have to make exercise moments that make it like we know this one is like and the one I show that might be that so you want to be monitoring it but that's me only one right now for like tested one left and they for like and also the algorithm for the thing that was like kind of now and like Wednesday like this now and so the brain was like kind of movie so Wednesday is like about like Wednesday and reading the details about that yeah and after the bring that when was kind of realize that like so the word just not so that that's about like that so like I love not sharing at all so section also and the alternative is laughing at against it it's like things just not parameter or today so right okay, so we are still in reference to what today I just that is so much more like one I spoke that way even so it's behind that the I that is that I like when there's no there is just little credit so that we that the one I show was like about the then my interactive that the I might be that for like the I might be more likely concept like above of like a fighter might be that to be the clear thing because the if it's the wrong sense of the brain then the one I show later on to but that like the of yeah it's had like I would say so that like the one I show made with a bit pretty kind of studies was there you know that night out maybe just looking as well to suddenly uh yeah after like the more like people that definitely been going to Japanese so like at that point I think that's the one I can measure always hoping that they find it that I countries were taking it the right way while going up the maybe kind of maybe of the range of like that's the even to one range of maybe leaning to range so that you want to make the more able to that and go even let the moment of like I might do that you do so that I will be together with the so like that way once like once they're able to entering like to secure I specific to that I don't at that point like using just price scams that be by controlling the um, I can like I for like the one I go to like find out the law for numbers and proceeding. Then way for like the one I go to be able to like three kind of couple like when taking to school and kind of and maybe also something as well might be around the time that the one I told might be expecting and might have planned beforehand and I might listen might be like the one I throw. It's like the one to just like one more thing that I'm with me and it's okay. Yes, they learn through so like about it, they did it like this way to find out that of that I kind of started escape from that site secure specifically shortly after that let's get to a kind of that is not into the knowledge that and then again going after that it was coming back let's say since we kind of with the land for that the first year of that upfront that you know that I'm good over it. And yet like an eventually that is enough negative data that the knowledge that I'm good over it. In Wednesday as some type of like and so market at some point like so kind of like this knowledge that I'm good over it. And at that point so it's more like a place straight away assuming that Tyler is that developer but like and like wants to know the Tyler but like that could be the start of levels like in that temperatures are for flat when there's that form from this happens to that form from this startup to the one that is into the hundred actually is quite well when it's the problem so and that way I can just bring that for that to be really that the strong I'm not the one who's looking at you to my job specific like say like it's representing like insurance to be taking out things like that in like the scenario and definitely I'm just putting that actually even though the scenario was different to be getting right now like just surviving and things not that connected like will get to have carrot I don't throw that but uh power or like I'm from the bank so like that for instance, like managing like a full of that to be spent with by selected so like a certain number of different for like one state so that would be for like condition to that so link like to that that actually just destroy like the digital and after becoming one state to like only solve from that life is not more together. I actually believe that just naturally self-object like this is not therapeutic. When the from that went on like not even saying a little from even something at all. So like not even from that went on the moment. Yet like I'm looking by the time that we could have also been anything now we get taken on like by the number of times that getting more of that to this self-object left the intention of better. So maybe by then like not even giving but get back to this self-object. More exam everything because like I'm turun by then like I'm turun that Wednesday. Maybe I'm turun form to be most likely the loss of that Wednesday would have to be stop and would be so extremely specific like at that point when I'm turning that maybe that the next step like in protocol to be that on description that on the that then showing up in my case in this it's like the scenario that I'm a bit on the correct. So at that point I'm not different topics I'm finding out about the same. At that point I'm not different on never try giving my step back when a very difficult with like the scenario that I'm saying. At that point that's like the put it at a different not through the pump those power when I'm not different want to be regularly self like feeling like some sort of that like doing magic or that something that literally version of public putting this public will be having the consequence of that by use especially not for anyone which on the finance by using by one of the step for the like that to that revive and save um and bring back to life energy levels that move over it that way like into bring them that's like the what to that in tradition and just say in singular is like the scenario that I went over something like do that let's say using that spell down to bring that let's say having the of like the permanent constant due to that. So like scenario that I'm using the brain right now. So you still get a friend with them land without stable and that constantly getting captured by that the solving love and they love that taking control of that constantly once it might now that I'm turning constantly into that attachment supporting of that resolving that scenario that and the getting that with all these that controlling it's also um, the zombie by the time that that the zombie would be that cancer at that point I'm talking about that these powers not being able to that or that the zombie because like by then that so not doing good like by then like the zombie still that already have uh grown way more than possibly in terms of trying to select even open on that and put on the current number of the range and then we'll get a framework that and so the along with that the control once we meeting up with like the one I wrote and then focusing that fire of that making us next move towards the like towards like the little big word like titles like in different things and suddenly jump the fire of them that will be creating into that particular and three titles just like doing this that a bit of maybe so the things want to be them bring more to side up but like not it has to that also like the things that is very so that need to see anything that Corona might need a things that West problem technique and with the so that we are in like the person for saying like I'm pretty much like in the opposite of the person like I'm for like saying what they will be opening up the person that will be the person the name of like the photo of that stage in like a taken of stage just like it's an experiment. So like at that point for thing has been up like in the big confused and that and similar of that point like back towards that zone of students zone of that like uh, about the photo. But at that point, I'm not recommending that I should have getting the reverse stop on being that zone of like my holding a sit up kind of person for that run person for that with the name anything left in pro holding that and finding a technique and something like anything construct also that given the scenario that I'm doing. So like at that point I'm not finding that on I don't think to navigate of so things as well as like anything else like for scenario that I'm doing and at that point I'm not looking for like anything that I feel and so that as well I've been using that uh so when like I'm complete due to the lack of snacks, people more like the last not being able to like start to get the viral scenario that I'm doing and never going to having that all sorts of unique power differences and trends. And so the things that have the different level so the ending up that whole battle ending up in a situation where like in some lab and take getting into the serious trouble and basically anything that has like grown over the about to make out anything that has that when last second I was trying by their points and that was spending in that to that back to the room is like the scenario that I'm so like at that point that's like an for the that so the thing is like running cause that so we just getting through the window from the room is like the scenario that I'm to the and that is very important. Also, definitely not reactive right now that I might just like I don't know that I should start by with the side of my investigate the new thing right now. So that I might be present and have a present and that when there's so problem and there's might be meant for that according to that the next try to get plan of that roll to so might be like the stop instead to last by taking out that anything that I think for that roll to take it's a because like technical mode because like most likely I might function as not just spike them but also as like an actual mode for the taking down I but might be that the case so the taking everything there is right. But another generator for like that way for like generator was then later on that stock market and that affect that crime and basically the take for what work that time and basically by the language they were doing that uh, lactase leak or the stomach to lactate the bonus behind behind the lactic acid in and then the pregnant state. Those vaccine embrace and when they even more and is lead to gather of maximizing attention and priority of the state towards the stomach may be around the lines of the stock may be wrong like plan. They might be very concentrated. Okay, so that's what we are looking very on here. So there's now that maybe like the stock plan might be to then take on instant lab and they do more to cancel that thing by thing would be trying that prevent that and basically to shout out and call out to that all the of towards that point and basically while for the thing and basically soon that and the whole situation into making it seen as it like thing had taken on things certainly my opinion and that that basically might be a foreshadowing of that which that the struggle might be trying to that portray through that the not sure of that thing might be that the case that they were ready. So that really depends right on that so long might also lead to that absolute that and percentage to be that we can just to only to have that in that later on some start down and at that point for that goes to make it and then they might have like and to then take out anything else that will at least but they so might totally so much black and strong might be the case the minister so using selfie by with the pro approach and later might be out of corona might have run thing in that just like instead we might have been area the other thing what might happen might have been while went up towards that corona that when that corona or southern might have quickly and an extremely unexpected manner for like Silla might have used that reflected against called to take out anything that might have been what might have happened but corona might have taken out Silla and basically then corona might have open the door to anything else for users that that we might know that deploy that all the information and everything at that anything else room and very a lot of that knowledge that way and basically that way all that knowledge that attracting all the students on towards that room might have been what might have happened at the beginning and thrown off might have switched close to might have only then escape from that window just in time right before like the students made it towards like a similar room that room might have that used to step in get solved while hiding one side like the window might have opened up like using remotely using like medical store might have opened up like the work of like thing is that even by switching like the so that there might have been first like an injury on like the economic anything last neck area which have been to be continuing parameter so that one that thing might have been released from that also just like about that by remotely using that by that when the thing might have made only seeing anything left in the room that might have that who was when who might have been at that one time on the phone. So with the internet and that they might have was then to help in similar while state might have been at the next area of that in similar with the area of that point might have been might have time fit out in such a way so that like at that point for like the students to make it towards that the make it towards like the room hearing all the noise and the room respect the scenario benefit. So like at that point that like the stuff what the students might have seen might have been uh, what the students might have seen might have been like thing anything learning just like taken off and students came and like thing on the neck of that anything might be what that the student might have seen that so that for example that might have time or in such a way that by ensuring that absolutely no one to no thing in that area is that person that area especially also that way agent might have been processed like a bunch of nearby might have been the case with new so that way like I'm considering that all the students who have never seen thing might have first thing to the room and like what seeing thing that they might have assumed that like thing might be like the culprit and like they might have that remove the under the of them the students that might using their powers and basically capture the thing is like them for the and like informing principal of and basically that they think getting faster like that they're when that the students themselves that or like the cops like while investigating that the room that finding that the mugshot for the reflecting and basically that the dog straight away assume the sheriff straight away assuming that it's that thing with like the culprit and basically straight away upstream thing is like personal that have been that thing now that have been so that friends and sitting on those topic of habit. But of might will be closely related to the human either that might be now the platform husband or like it might be either being used for the like coach for might be definitely in active health wings dot and wings might have been that would then formulate that name of training. So that they might have know how passionate in what uh sure platforms now more academy might even that the days of never training. So that they have potential on the lot of the weeks might have been such an absolute shock for like now might have been the days of training. So the game of things that for like someone who thought might have love so much that weeks that thought might have been with take up it up answers that until goal to like to ensure to like carry out being such as and goals to like always protect like the name of market might have been to always like so a couple of things that the name of market might have been like it is the name of the and that way that don't might be that with such a goal that to carry out that besides with such thing that might be laptop that's going to and for the longer period in the that product like the normal carry. There might be such an intent behind so doing more that definitely might push your conversion right now. Yes, so that yeah, especially when friends in that line. The stock of is more definitely going to and that he might be in this school and he might be losing out my that he might the bleach or the talking out that apartment in that in out in that going that within everything here up that might be like that if it's the base that you renting for the game to bring that so might be most likely having that health issues spouse such like creating a brain speculative of brain. You miss that drone on which might have slips that facade uh, down like as the top of that was space then as well as like then as soon as going that like my children in that I have just there and get to and made it to that allocate where into where was like change in that room might have to already put in for the laptop and so there is at the create on that by the time if the wakes up that for like to they make the direct negative and like put himself into that change situation you know it's like anything lab and for like so might be don't expecting that protein might be don't expecting that many for like then say to like make it and basically make it up to then like 30% free about Instagram and things and that might be thrown off that next strategy to that way to have let's say that to feeling as if that's the last person to like suspect connected to like that and feel like the stock of as the thrown might be along the line like thrown off by the end of one thrown off my thing is just to do about the that I'm looking at name studio might that like it might be broken and that's like might be step is like getting calls and dropping like the zones come one by one when doing that same situation with that and anything that might be like that with the day right. That name when by like the certain is game might be like I can like practically I can do that scare anything into like break up the front with that with like with stand to have that way with that move out of that this so that like that way that the stronger one might be that one will be getting that the spice of that in that only might be seeing as that the spice will be like a stable people and that way that stock up would be able to make it open to that way to get all of the negative attributes towards that the stock might be that the lecture stop up to my program through the writing educate especially in my right. So that but yet so that stop up might be that lecture stop might be grown yeah that might be having that partner to help grow up out with that plants and everything. Everything on us might be that they get the race that rather than that partner might be someone a girl who might be having love with that who might not only correct and gotten up to be that partner if they live. Doing the things the job but actually job of might be doing the figure. So that as for like doing other things that what that going that. So no might also be trick that partner to studying or that studying for that if something wrong is doing for one might be on the end when that the electron might be madly obsessed with like when they might be like that thing with the it's definitely so that they are the it might be that so might be either having like an invisible thing club or that having that partner might of electron might be having unique power which let's say might be excellent as well that is visible for that for like a few seconds or like a minute might be that it is other is that I'm looking for things. So that this might be how that might be that background or that so that like when they might have seen in that of that system when like the marks is really much at and that way the continuous direction might be due to lungs of putting more and more that magic invisibility so that like might be the reason more like let's say like the same that mysterious person from like not like disappearing and appearing over and over again simply not the train is so that when being attached invisibility of might exist and that or like that invisibility of might exist for like the partner of throne and like that partner of two might be linked with people that might have taken that the form of Black Wednesday in like the beginning White Wednesday of Black when White Wednesday was meant to the dog and was that speaking to that the dog and Black it might not be due to Black Wednesday Black and it might be due to that reason that like that the specific law modified due to that engine to get of power that like Wednesday through everything was like not being able to then find like the find that the stock of even through the find the real that support or even while using a vision power from support of might be when that and not to the and that might not be due to that the psychic person might be the case that the name right now. We find the people right now that actually one partner might be having that fitness problem and might be having that and invisibility that and by Corona might be definitely thinking it about that being the Corona might actually be aware of definitely and Corona might be active so I'm expecting one again. So that's a really much brainstorm right now that yeah and some exact and some like the stock of my point for like the question and like one question wrong see might be the answer from like stock the name of everything. But like I'm doing that they was like trying out like the answer of that with the selections like when that person doing like they don't not seeing not within that though different ways they first when right out like this but like I'm whispering that still like it being of that like the answer is like the wrong answer and find the Wednesday fighting out stuff and then that Wednesday one whispering like anything love and from getting the like it's not that I'm just whispering out of the answer right una capillona benefit right and when I use I thought that putting on that app will say thank you for about that was there. And solely according to net perspective orders of that room of might be they might be like active store, might be like active today's that they will get so that they will bring back everything. This might be also part of that that Kronos like might be to that Prince Devon again. It's definitely to think that like into obtaining that like Agnes is like that to stop the so that like so the minimum trend is for like it might be grown that might be the actual superman of level state, especially might be very function and that be the thing that AgnesDeMille would be telling that she tends to be apart from that being the super fan of Black Panther, might be all actually connected, actually about like the throne. So maybe that is the meaning again. Ito, according to my dreams, and according to going like happiness, opinion to be like observed with like throne that meaning again. Okay, so like the dream still like dream in the conversation on the authority that anything else here it may be wrong and my not all access that to the performance paper on the assume discovery that things government that we put on us that give us independent. So later that Agnes was likely being of first with them to know Agnes was with us to them to thing all the orders and everything the telling Agnes to do might be that they friends. So like tournament we don't really have to the one good like and then it's matching with the people to give more black stock in that space. I think about the quarters of estimate to let that with the days but given the rest. So the get to spend that according to the orders that it might be annual using of any utility about might be always following stopping at following when stay around and taking sort of maybe the days but given the so that way when stay showed up to that gas in that that's why it might have been either constellation of all of that might have taken the form of that when standing outside that I guess the might have been the case so so that after when they're finding out about like the lots of sales and come the finding that project the talks might have been that the individual plan might have confiscated like as in phone they might have confiscated like yeah phone from like the crime scene might have been the case that you know so then yeah at that point it might have been according to an actual stock of through that net order to that as to that information to take that getting from like state and that and so bring like reserve might have taken the form from the state like the form the alternate might have taken it to like the state and might have been from like the station that like the reserve might have lost the album so was like due to that fact just what taking turning it into work and like taking like the still taking that album phone from like station might have been more better so they were different and then what then according to the plan that so might have told Agnes to that one to send that the photo of that Wednesday standing outside of that Galvin's house to Galvin phone and basically from Galvin phone like it might have been that photo that might have sent that photo to that anything left so might have been what might have happened the second by the prevention right. Also that the cleaner options that that notation calls might be very unique and very found when very much alive even to the things that we might so then we have a different that so quickly on the that notification might be putting on that and put wait time in front of that PN got and when you put the link to that form of that PN got that siren powers to find out the code time that as soon as white PN got start using siren powers on one picture might be around the range of factor of what might be estimated in Japanese might be the range. And the about the friction of the friction of this point on side by side of that Wednesday last personal investigation that involving like the one night pro and like the storm like on this that what we can tell to about investigation that along with like more with us on the connected to that connected to that the quotations behind that the entire music like the mouse one picture as well as that way that investigation during the official towards like dawn multiple dawn and like is like going out the employee. Your employer on like uploading the side by side parallel investigation of that when status the like monitor as well as like monitor not showing up the investigation monitor also not mother like everything doing their investigation together and like the strange situation between their relation around the journey of that investigative mystery ending up turning into that African point given the now that I'm going to yes, so that's the meaning of the ambition right now is that they make that the main top priority and main goal that the one I told might be that was that me around the master and maybe finding that crucial between that the human identity of like the one I told and Teddy and direct and maybe it might have also lead to like the presence of that pressuring alone that feel that might also happen that might be the case and that feel might be like the top priority of that the one I throw definitely to the interesting so that feel might be again that the root and everything might be that against the million or might be that constant relation is the clean of the train so like due to that like step might be absolutely necessary for like the one I throw that while doing that deal might be that against the limit and right in there. Definitely on the spring back to be was like the main goal of like the one I throw and like while attempting to make a similar deal in like the Chimpalas might have been due to that when space that on Ophelia standing against the deal that like the individual might have ended up that ending up one item definitely might have been it might have been due to a battle between that individual and that on Ophelia that might have ended up with like that individual like the evidence ending up one might have stepping on friends and that individual might be because the person might be aware that that Wednesday how Wednesday and on Ophelia that connected especially with the and like the one I throw might be wearing and cautious of like the presence of Wednesday and like never more. This definitely my difference. So maybe like the one I told my phone to that get connected on that the step or like one copy they might have done to like the one I told or like the member of the brain maybe it might be linked to like the one I saw approaching like the fucking situation of like one might be a deal like in an extremely possible might not be able to like the fucking law like when speculation like connected to like opinion might be the reason for like maybe that's the one I saw that stopping that phrase that we might be very interesting right.